So I'm looking at that Liverpool game and I'm thinking like that's a game that we can actually win. Like as much as like the difficult fixture at Anfield, which is going to play a factor in that game, which is why we might not win that game. I think that if there's any factor at play, it's going to be the fact that we're on Anfield. But at the same time, like Anfield really hasn't been the same since Klopp left. Yo, you guys, what is good, man? Welcome back to Real United Talk, where we talk about all matters Real Madrid and Man United. This is going to be a real talk episode because the Champions League draw has been done. It is set, guys. We know who Real Madrid is going to be playing. Obviously, that other team who I'm not even talking about right now, who I don't even want in my line of thought right now, are not in the Champions League. So that out of this conversation, that's why this is a real talk episode. We're going to be talking about Real Madrid's fixtures in the Champions League and who are going to face, what I think about them. And yeah, let's just get into it, man. So right now, let's just go over the fixtures. So we're going to be playing Manchester City at home, Liverpool away, Juventus at home, Benfica away, Marseille at home, Olympiacos away, Monaco at home, and some team I can't pronounce away. And those fixtures, they're looking they're looking good. Like I like it. I like it. Obviously, they look like difficult fixtures, and that's what we want in the Champions League, right? Like that's why you play in the Champions League to play the biggest teams in the world and everything. This group phase, I think that we have to do not group phase, sorry, league phase. We have to do a lot better than we did last time. As much as like it's not whoever wins the league phase that wins overall. Like we saw that in Liverpool, we saw that in Barcelona. Like it's not who does the best in league phase that actually wins. PSG won the Champions League and they were terrible in the league phase. So it's about like how you actually do in the knockout phases, which Real Madrid is obviously good in. We didn't do the best last season, obviously, but like we're obviously good in the knockout phases. That's where our mentality lies and everything. But I think that we do need to do well in these league phases. I think that just given how badly we did last season, I also think that like we just need that like good start because like this is a new manager. Xabi Alonso is here now, so like I feel like he just needs like that good start and everything. Like I don't think it makes that much difference whether we do well or not. Like all that matters that obviously we go to, which like we have to like obviously go to. Doesn't matter as much that we do well in the league phase, but I do think that it's important that we do to kind of just get us that belief that we can actually win it. Because as much as like Real Madrid, there's always this like underlying feeling that, like they're going to win the Champions League no matter how badly they're doing and everything. I do feel that like right now, spirits at the club might be a little low. Like that belief might not be there as much. Obviously, new managers or new belief and all of that, but I think that like we might need the league phase more than we usually do because usually I think that finishing second or whatever it is in the group phase or like however we did last season and everything, I feel like there was still that belief that we can win it and everything. Obviously last season was less like there was not that much belief. Like I never really thought that we were going to win the Champions League. That's why the whole thing with the Arsenal comeback, I can't lie, I wasn't buying into it. Obviously I wanted it, obviously I was backing it, but I wasn't really buying into it because I don't think that we are good enough last season to win the Champions League. But yeah, this season is a new season. We've started our first two La Liga games to a good start, 3-0, 1-0, if I can't remember correctly. And yeah, I think that, we're looking good. Obviously, there's still a lot of kinks in our team right now. We're still trying to sort out a lot of things as well with the whole Rodrigo, Vinny, everything that is going on around the club, man. Like lineups are changing. We obviously saw what happened in the game last week. Lineups are changing, everything is changing. Xabi also has multiple ideas for the team and everything. So like there's just a lot of moving parts right now. That is like you don't necessarily know how Real Madrid are going to do in the Champions League. Like you don't know how Real Madrid are going to do in this season period. Like whether it's La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey, anything. You don't know how Real Madrid are going to do because like right now there's just so many moving parts. But I do think that like we can do well in Champions League. I certainly think that we can do better this year if we get ourselves like figured out and everything. I think what Xabi Alonso has shown from like the last game and everything is that he doesn't take rubbish. Like I think that sometimes, like I said, like sometimes managers are kind of scared to like shake the room, like they're scared to make those big calls and everything. And what Xabi Alonso has shown is that like he's not scared to shake the room. If someone is not playing well, if someone is not fitting in and everything, sorry, you do need to bench them at the end of the day. Like you need to do what's better for the team at the end of the day. That will lead to very, very, very unpopular calls within the fans, within even the club and everything. Maybe benching the biggest players in the team is not really good for them. But at the end of the day, like you need to do it because like winning Champions League is good for them. So whether you bench somebody and they're not happy, if you win the Champions League, they'll be 10 times happier. So yeah, I think that Xabi Alonso just needs to do what's best for the club, and coming the league phase and everything, we'll see how the players are doing. We'll see which players should be starting against the likes of like Man City, Liverpool, who I'm going to talk about in a bit. But yeah, I think that like I'm looking at this league phase and I think that we can do really well. And as to how far we'll go in the Champions League, we just have to wait and see on that. We just have to wait and see. But yeah, going into the league phase, I do think that our fixtures are looking favorable to an extent. Obviously, you have the two biggest fixtures there, which are Man City and Liverpool, which I'm going to talk about right now. But like, yeah, you have the other fixtures as well: the Juves, the Benficas, the Marseilles, Olympiacos, Monaco, all of that. Like, I think that those fixtures, like, I'm not going to talk too much about all of them, but like, I'll say that like those are favorable fixtures. I think max maybe we look at like one or two draws there. I think that we can beat Juve. I think a game like Benfica, we can like that's a game that we can potentially draw, just given there is a way Benfica's home crowd will probably be loud and all of that. I think that like that's not us. Like if we can obviously still win, but I think that with the way Benfica will just handle that game and everything, I think if I'm looking at a game where we can potentially drop points out of all those six fixtures that are not Man City and Liverpool, I think I'm looking at that Benfica away and thinking, we might draw that game. And if we draw that game and we've started really well, it's not the worst thing ever, right? But I'm looking at the Marseille game. I'm going to play Marseille at home. As much as Marseille is a good team, I do think they were the favorites in that game. And I think that we can get the 2 points from that game. I think we should get the 2 points from that game. And then you have Olympiacos and that team where I actually think that that's another game that we can draw potentially. I'm looking like a very messy game, like a 3-3 game, something like that, very messy. But we should win. I think that we should get all 3 points. But like again, like these type of teams like just end up usually drawing or something. Like it's like a crazy result, a crazy game, but you just end up drawing. But we should get all 3 points from that game. I believe that we should get all 3 points from that game. Monaco at home, we should be winning. I think that our home fixtures, we should be winning them. Obviously, Man City is at home, so I'm going to talk about that. But I think that our home fixtures, we should be winning them. So I think the Juve, the Marseille, the Monaco, I think that we should be winning those ones. And then the last team, who I still cannot pronounce, but I heard that like it's a long ass journey. So like that can be something that will potentially affect the players, long ass journey and everything. But these players like they're ready for stuff like that, man. Like I think that professionals and everything, like they're ready for stuff like that. Like this is probably not the first time that I've traveled long distances to play a game. And this is Champions League, like it was always like likely to happen that you have to travel a certain distance, but I can see how it can affect players and everything. So I'm not saying that we should go down and draw, but I can see how it can potentially affect players. Maybe players are not looking as sharp as they should be, but that's a game that we can win and we should win. That's a game that we should. What am I saying? That's a game that we should win. Like I don't want to see no draw. I don't want to see no loss. I want to see a win. I don't care if they're traveling 200 million hours, bro. Like when you get off that plane, I need to see you play your best football in that game. But yeah, I think that we can get a good result from all those teams I just mentioned, honestly. But now we can talk about the two biggest fixtures in the group stage, which are obviously Manchester City and Liverpool. I'm going to talking about our first fixture of the league phase, which is going to be Manchester City. And again, man, again, these UEFA guys, they love this fixture, man. Like they eat off this fixture. What 6 and 7 now? 6 and 7 years that we've played Man City, something like that, some start like that. Like it's crazy. These guys love this fixture, man. I don't blame them, man. It's a good fixture. It's a good fixture. It gets them money. It sells tickets, and everybody loves it, man. Everybody loves it. It's a good fixture. So I'm excited by it. Like every time I see it, I'm excited by it. Obviously, like a bit scared. And yeah, Man City again, and Man City are not the same team that they were last season. I think that last season when we beat them, when Mbappe did what he did to them in an unfriendly manner, I do think that like, not I think, I know that they were struggling last season. So like, it's a very different time now. I think that right now Man City actually have ballers. Like they have ballers in that team. They obviously signed Reinders. They have a new left back. They have Mamouche, even if he's not had the best start of the season and everything. They have bowlers in that team again. They have technically gifted bowlers. Something I don't think they had last season. So right now, Man City is looking good, man. Man City is looking good. It's not the same team that we played last season. So I do think that it's going to be more difficult um this season than last season, definitely. And then when I'm looking at like a player that can be a defining factor in that game, like in Man City's favor, I think I'm looking at Mamouche. I think I'm looking at Mamouche. When I'm talking about like City have bowlers again, I think I'm thinking about Mamouche in that situation. Yes, they have Checky and all these other guys. Yes, all of that. But I do think that when I'm looking at somebody that can actually make a difference in that game, I'm looking at Mamouche. I think that he can really dominate that midfield. The only thing about him is that I'll say maybe he doesn't work as hard as he should. based on like maybe new standards and all of that. Maybe it doesn't work as hard as it should. Like off the ball is what I mean. Like tracking back and all of that. That's the only thing I'll say. But I do think that on the ball quality and all of that and that type of game, I'm looking at City to have more possession. Obviously, new manager are going to be at home. Jabi probably likes possession more than Carlo Ancelotti and everything. So might have more possession in that game, might not. But I'm looking at City to have more possession, and I think that on the ball, you're looking at Mamouche as a very dangerous player. Good on the ball, good at making those late runs, good at passing, good at dribbling, all those type of stuff. So I think that with Mamouche, sorry, am I saying Mamouche? Reinders, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm talking about Reinders, man. I'm talking about Reinders. What am I talking about? What am I saying, bro? Reinders is the defining factor in that game for me. Is the defining factor in that game for me for Man City. Like he's the guy I'm actually looking at. I'm a bit scared of. Like not scared, but you know, just like yeah, like watch out for that guy. I think that he's the guy I'm looking at. But yeah, in that game, I do think that again it's at home. I think that we can get a win. I think it's going to be. Don't say it's a messy game. Don't say it's a messy game. I don't know if it's going to be messy per se, but it will be messy. I'll say it will be messy. Like when I say messy, I think like a 3-2, 3-1, like that type of thing. Like I think would be messy, but I think there is a game that we can win. Again, we're going to be at home, but at the end of the day, like I said, City are not the same team they were last season. So I do think that's going to be a very difficult game. I won't be shocked if City give it that all and come out with the result, whether it's a draw or a win. I won't be shocked because, like, they also have a point to prove. The same way that Real Madrid have a point to prove, City also have a point to prove. So I won't be shocked if they come out of that game with something, like whether it's a loss or a win. I'll be angry, but I won't be shocked, right? But I'm saying that, like, I do think that that's a game that we should be winning. Like I said, I think that we should win all our home games in this group phase. I think that would be like a very dominant thing to do. Just win all our home games and maybe get a result, like get a win in like two of the four away games. And if we do that, number one will be set, and number two, like it's good, right? Like if we maybe win 6 games and maybe draw 2 or lose 1, draw 1, something like that. Like that's a good group phase in my opinion, or league phase or whatever it is right now. So yeah, I do think that we can get a result against Man City, but it's going to be a difficult game, obviously. But now talking about the Liverpool of it all, Liverpool is going to be, that one is going to be a bit more difficult because we're going to be away, we're going to be at Anfield. And, it's a big game. It's a big game for Trent. It's going to be returning to Liverpool, and it's going to be a loud game. It's going to be a loud game. If you watch the Newcastle Liverpool game, you know what I'm talking about, man. It's going to be a loud game, and it's going to be a loud game in Liverpool's favor. Liverpool fans are going to be booing Trent. Like, they're going to be booing him. Like, so if Trent starts that game, like, just to get ready for the noise, man. Like they're going to boo him all day, every day, 24/7, 90 minutes, whatever it is, for the whole game. They're going to be booing him. So it's going to be a loud game. Is that something that's going to affect Trent if he plays, if he starts? Is that something that will also make Jabi and also either start Trent or bench Trent? Because I think that he might want to start Trent to, like, maybe Trent has something to prove. He knows that Trent has something to prove, so maybe you have a good game. It'll actually be interesting to see if Trent starts that game. Obviously, it depends on whether he's fit by that time or not, whether Carvajal is fit by that time or not. It all depends. But I'm saying that if they're both fit, it's actually very interesting to see who starts that game. But I'm looking at Liverpool, yeah, and I'm thinking, like, Liverpool are kind of giving me us last season vibes. Like, in the sense that, like, right now they have this attack that on paper is like probably the best attack in the league, if not the world, right now on paper, right? But like I'm looking at the rest of that squad, right? I'm looking at that midfield, I'm looking at the defense, I'm looking at that keeper. Like obviously, like they have good big players in all those positions, right? But I'm looking at the state of it, and I'm thinking they're not secure right now. Like Liverpool are not secure right now. Liverpool are living on the we will just outscore you basis. That's what Liverpool is doing right now, because you watch the Bournemouth game, you watch the Newcastle game. Newcastle came back with 10 men and they almost got the result out of that game. Yes, they didn't at the end of the day, but they almost came out with the result at the end of that game. I'm looking at the Bournemouth game as well. As much as Liverpool won 4-2, Bournemouth came back and was 2-0, and Bournemouth came back. I'm looking at that and I'm just thinking, like, Liverpool is not as secure as they think that they are, as fans think that they are. I think that fans are kind of accepted that Liverpool is just going to be this high scoring team this season and everything. And obviously, like, the transfer window is not over yet, so you don't know what they're going to do in transfer window. But I mentioned this thing about Liverpool. I said that they need a midfielder. I said they need a midfielder. I said they need another centre back, and I stand by it still. I think that Liverpool need a midfielder. I think that I'm looking at them last season, and as much as, like, they dominated the Prem, like, You look at them in the Champions League getting up to the round of 16. You look at you just look at them last season, and I'm thinking that like yes, they were really good and everything, but I think that there's something missing there. I think that this whole Gravenberg, McAllister, Szoboszlai thing is fancy, it's good, it's nice, it helps, it works, and Slot knows how to work it well and everything. But I'm looking at that and I'm just thinking like, wow, like it's not complete. Like there's just something missing. I don't know. It might be just me. Might be an unpopular opinion. People might be just saying like, "Oh, but they have the best attack in the world and everything." They still have Van Dijk and Konate and whoever it is or whoever it is over there. So like that's set and everything. And yeah, they're a good team, right? Like they're still a very, very, very good team. But what I'm saying is that like they're not as strong as people might think. Like yes, they're beating the Bournemouths and the Newcastles and everything, but like, how far would they go in like Champions League? How far would they go? Like, are they going to win the Premier League this season? These are big questions I need to ask honestly. So I'm looking at that Liverpool game and I'm thinking like that's a game that we can actually win. Like as much as like the difficult fixture at Anfield, which is going to play a factor in that game, which is why we might not win that game. I think that if there's any factor at play, it's going to be the fact that we're on Anfield. But at the same time, like Anfield really hasn't been the same since Klopp left. Like it hasn't been like, oh, you can't win at Anfield. I think under Klopp it felt like you couldn't win at Anfield, but like under Arne Slot, it's not the same feeling. Not because Arne Slot is not a good manager or anything. It's just not the same feeling. I think home or away, it doesn't really matter. If we're winning, if we're losing, we're losing, if we're drawing, we're drawing. That's under Arne Slot. But I think that right now, like you're looking at Anfield right now, you're thinking like you can get a result out of Anfield nowadays more than you thought other clubs. So I'm looking at that and I'm looking at the fact that I just don't think that Liverpool are complete right now. I just don't think that Liverpool are complete right now. I think that all over the place, just like we were last season, like good attack on paper, and like attack is actually like clicking more than our attack was clicking last season and everything. So, but good attack on paper, but what, they're just not complete. So I'm looking at that game. I'm thinking that we can actually get like a result. Like maybe we get a draw out of that game because it's at Anfield and maybe you'll just score as many goals as we score. So maybe we do get like a draw out of that game rather than a win. But I actually think that we can come out of that game with a win. I actually think that we can come out of that game with a win. Honestly, like looking at the state of Liverpool right now, it can be a very messy game potentially. Like I said, if Trent starts, he might mess with his head. He might not have the best game ever. Liverpool fans will be booing him and all of that. So who knows? Or maybe Trent will have the best game of his career against Liverpool just because he wants to prove a point or something. So who knows, right? Who knows with that game? But I honestly think that we can get the result in that game. I think that we can win that game, honestly. But like saying that it means that like we're going to win like 8 of our good games and everything. And I don't think we're going to win 8 of our good games. So I'll say a draw out of that game, but I do think that we can get a win. If I want to be bold, I'm going to say that we're going to get a win in that game. But just given all the factors in play, I'll say that it's going to be a draw or a loss, just to be on a level playing field. But I'm being like bold as like obviously like I just give you all the 3 options, so it doesn't make sense. But I'm just saying that like like I think that we can get a win out of that game at the end of the day. So yeah, we've talked about all the fixtures, some more than others, obviously. And you're looking at it and you're thinking, oh wow, like how many points can we get? Like there's 24 possible points, right? So how many points can we get in this group phase or in this league phase? It's so confusing. But I think I'm looking at 18, 19. Hmm. Let's see. 4 wins at home, 2 wins away, 1 draw, 1 loss. So let's call it 2 now. So I think honestly, 4 wins, 4 wins at home. That's what 4 wins at home is 12 points, right? 2 wins away. I think that we should get in 2 wins away. And that's what 12 points. 12 plus 6 is 18. So that's 18 points already. I think that we should be getting a draw and a loss. I think that one of these games is going to be a draw. I think obviously we're going to lose once in the league phase. So 12 plus 6 is 18, 19. So 19 out of 24 points. I think that we can get 19 out of 24 points in this league phase. And that's not bad. That's not bad. It might not win us the league phase, but that's not bad. That's not bad at all. I'll take that, bro. I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day because at the end of the day, it's how you play in knockout phases. So yeah, I'm calling 19 points in the league phase, 19 out of a possible 24. But what do you guys think about this league phase? Do you think that Madrid are going to do well? How many points do you think that we're going to get? Do you think we can beat Man City? Do you think we can beat Liverpool? Let me know all of that in the comments. But with that comes the end of this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and stay consistent, keep on pushing out episodes, and I just hope to see you guys again next time. Safe.